Mario Pellegrini's own story began on June 15, 1923, in New York City.
In an Italian neighborhood that I was in, it's a pretty rough and tumble place. And we always had the story of somebody who comes to the city and gets off the train and puts his bag down and says, "Look at the big buildings." And then he looks down and his bags are gone.
Mario joined the Air Force at age 19 and served all over the world.
When I finished my tour in the Air Force, the last base I was stationed at when I came back from overseas was Hill Air Force Base, Ogden, Utah.
While stationed at Hill, Mario enrolled in classes at Weber State College, studying anthropology, philosophy, and psychology.
So I was fortunate to get to Weber, to find the kind of academic excitement that I was looking for, to find out about the values that we live by, what makes people who they are and what they believe in.
Mario's professor, Dr. Jennings Olson, was invited to appear on the television show Great Issues in Religion and asked for his help.
He was very busy marking papers and giving lectures and speeches and everything, and so he was assigned to come down on this Sunday, and I was a student of his at the time, and he said, "Listen, I haven't got time, but would you work up something, do some research, and write some things for me to say? The subject is the virgin birth." And I said, "Well, gee, he said, just do some research and write something." He read what I wrote, and it was, the switchboards lit up. Everybody in the Intermountain West was calling, "What is this? This is heresy." And so he came out of there and he said, "Well, that's the last time they'll ever invite me on that program." It was not true. Very shortly after, the next week, they called and said, "Could you come back?" And he came to me, and I was a student trying to get a good grade. And he said, "I've got a job for you." And he said, I said, "Well, I'll do the best job I can." And he said, "You're the new researcher, writer, and director of Great Issues in Religion now." And I said, "Whoa, wait a minute." I said, "I could do some research and writing, and I'm my philosophy is major." I said, "But I've never directed anything. I don't know anything about it." He said, "Read up on it. We're on Sunday."
Mario would later become a member of the Directors Guild of America and would direct such stars as Tony Bennett, Loretta Lynn, Gloria Estefan, Jack Lemmon, Mickey Rooney, and many more. During his 8 years in Utah, Mario met his first wife.
She was something that I had never seen before. I mean, the girls in New York are not like that. And then she was a wonderful person, a wonderful family. And we were married. We had a daughter. And the thing that happened was that after we were married for 3 years, and she started to drop a frying pan or something, and she was, her blood was down, was weak. Doctor finally was at the station, and I went down there to catch him, because 3 or 4 days he wouldn't tell me, he didn't answer his calls or anything. And I caught him and he said, I know. I want to tell you, what we've done is a double-blind test, and here are the reports. Leukemia, leukemia, leukemia. She has leukemia.
The loss of his wife to leukemia would inspire Mario to create an award-winning 7-program series called Frontiers in Cancer.
Wound up making a film down in Miami, and I found a beautiful girl, quite a bit younger than me, but beautiful as anything. And she was a Cuban refugee. They had come from Cuba when Castro took over, and they saw people being shot in the streets and everything. She saw a real revolution.
Mario and Nina were married in 1966 and have 2 sons. They are very active in supporting community causes. In 1969, Mario began writing and directing for the White House.
Been called there for Nixon because when Nixon became president, he had a problem against John F. Kennedy, who was very telegenic, and Nixon was not telegenic. And so they said, we got to get somebody, some Hollywood director or somebody, to help him. So they called the Directors Guild in L.A. And they said, we need a guy to come in and help him on television appearances and everything. And can you get us a director? I said, yeah, but, oh, and he's got to be a Republican. And they said, he's got to be a what? Are you kidding? And they said, a Republican? He said, yeah. They said, well, we have one guy who's a Republican. He even admits it.
Mario produced a series of simulcasts that each reached over 80 million viewers for every president from Richard Nixon to George H.W. Bush.
And I had 8 years with Reagan, and he used me for all of his simulcasts, which were like, for him, fireside chats, when he talked to the whole country. He could override the Senate and the House and everything. He was very, very communicative.
In 1974, Mario created the NFL's Great Moments series, encouraging support for the United Way. He remembers directing the first commercial.
And I put this together, and I honestly, in the editing room in New York, I said, this is the worst commercial I have ever put on film. And got a call from Roselle's office. Did you get it? I said, yeah. Come up to the office tomorrow morning. I want to see it. I thought, that's the end of this. I'll never see this on an NFL game. And I went up, and he's already in the screening room waiting for you. Wow. And I go up, and the room's empty except for him sitting in the front row like this. And I come in the back door, and I gave the guy the film. And I said, whenever you're ready, Commissioner. And the guy in the booth says, ready. Okay, the lights went down, and boom, on came, I'll be Reggie McKenzie of the Buffalo Bills, and I'm helping these people here, and so on. And I thought, oh, here it comes. He's going to get up and say, kick me out of the room. He stood up when the lights went on. He turned around, and he said, could you do 32 of them?
Mario continued for the next 26 years, writing and directing every one of the more than 1,000 commercials in the series.
Make the spot about the crack babies. So I said, well, could we see it, the crack baby? Yeah. They put the crack baby on one of these rolling tables and that. I sat him down like you were sitting me here. And he had this huge hand, right? And the little baby is there like this, just a little infant. And it's going through contractions. And what do I do? I said, you just look at the baby and then look back at the camera and read what it says. The teleprompter's right through. Just look. And he looked over and he put his hand up by the baby. And his pinky, like this, the little baby's hand reached up and curled around the edge of his pinky. And he sat there and he said, he saw that, he said, I don't know if you care about these kids as much as I do, but I care about them an awful lot, and I hope you do too. Wow. It was so powerful.
In all of his work, Mario tries to find that touch of life, or vita, inherited from his Italian forefathers.
It's finally on the screen, and you sit in a darkened theater in the back of the room, and at a certain point, you hear the audiences, oh, they laugh at the right places, and they cry where it's necessary. And that's a confirmation that when you sat in that room 2 years ago with a pencil and paper and said, and the girl will walk in and she'll say this, and this will, and he'll react this way and everything, the storyboards that we create and everything, this is the confirmation of a creative fulfillment.
The Weber State Alumni Association is pleased to honor Mario Pellegrini with the Emeriti Lifetime Achievement Award for his life's work of using his creativity to inspire audiences.